I feel, to a certain degree, but what is not all over the show. Really it is. There is just so much novelty going on at such an extreme rate. And so for myself, what is my experience with it? What is my sort of also cynicism about it? In a way of like sharing of like, does it really matter? Does it really make a difference? You know, I mean, how many quotes do I hear that are really are wonderful, but I'm saying makes a difference? How much information do I hear that really makes a difference? That really sets in? Or is it just words? Is it just information? Like, what is really transformational for me? What is it that I can, you know, it's like somebody who takes a psychedelic trip while, you know, in a train station, and then, you know, whatever, and afterwards they just, okay, maybe it's not a good example, but I remember when I did ayahuasca with these people, and really, like with ayahuasca, you should really about a month before start kind of meditating on it, having it in mind, doing the diet, limiting salt, sugar, not having, you know, sex or whatever it is, any sort of release of some kind. Okay, maybe a month is a bit long, but I mean, to really, and then travel there, travel to the jungle, you know, travel to the source of the plant, meet the people, meet the shaman, meet the family, meet the tribe, you know, live with them for a while, take the medicine, you know, one night, and then maybe the following night, and then stay there in the jungle for a month. Or not maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks or something like that, or 2 weeks, and let it integrate, right? And talk to others, you know, talk about that, talk about your experience, talk about what you went through, okay? And then head back home, and then you can fall back in line in the wash, rinse, repeat, or something like that, repeat lifestyle. Then you can go back into the machine, then you can go back into the heavy narrative, and then you've integrated something, and you've held something special within your experience, within your memory, within your heart. When I did ayahuasca, the shaman was playing this song called, it was Lex van somebody or other, it's called Journey to the Heart, and it's such a beautiful song. In a way, when I listen to it, you know, it just reminds me of that experience, you know, when I took ayahuasca. But after that, you know, retreat, it wasn't even a retreat, it was ridiculous. Because I went with 3 people from the city that I kind of barely knew. It was a Friday afternoon, and we rushed to get there, we were stuck in traffic. They were like really not my kind of people or cup of tea. And when we got there, it was like about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And people were like still finding their rooms and whatever it is, and then the shaman came around, if that's what you want to call him, with the, you know, the essential oils and the whatever it is we're told to bring, sort of mint and different herbs and something like that, and make like a, you know, something, put it all into water, and then sort of bathe with it, and then meet in the you know, in the structure. And now the shaman was from South America, and he just, and his wife came, and we hired out this, you know, that was just it was like a place it was for holiday people. It wasn't very far out of the city. And we went into this thing, and, you know, we had our like yoga mats and whatever it is, and it was freezing cold. It was so bitterly cold. It was all just so mushed together. And then the shaman with his wife, she was also supposed to attend, you know, the ceremony, and she didn't, because the babysitter didn't arrive for the child, so he had to handle it on his own, and it was just such a mess. And then that was the Friday night, and then on the Saturday night, it was such a hectic thing. And then it was supposed to be like Sunday morning, we're all going to sit down and talk about our experiences and write, and, you know, and exchange numbers, and we're going to meet up a week from then. And it was, you know, nothing like that happened. The shaman had to get going, if you want to call him that. I think his name was Benny or something. Don't know if that was his real name. I mean, and his wife and whatever it is, and people, and it was like, you could see, so many of us were just so badly shaken up, like really. And one guy, the guy next to me, it's such a hectic trip. And, oh man, there was so much to integrate, so much to learn. And that guy who was next to me, actually a guy that I went with, he happened to be a Jewish guy, he was still keeping the Sabbath. It was crazy. It was just madness. He's a singer at a wedding. He's part of a wedding band, and he had a wedding that afternoon. This guy was freaking the hell out. He was shaking the next morning. He was proper traumatized. I mean, here's this Jewish guy and the shaman and his wife. She joined for the second night, and they were talking in tongues. They were like, throwing water at him, and here's this Jewish guy, and he's wearing his whole Jewish outfit from the Sabbath, and he's grabbing hold of me, and he's saying, are you like a priest? Are you a priest of the temple? Because of my name is Aaron, and Aaron in the Bible. And I'm like, dude, I'm not. Just kept grabbing me. And yet still, the guy still went, when the shaman offered for more ayahuasca, and he still went up and took more. And then I remember the shaman, they were just, he was just giving out, and then came at about, it was about 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then, the ceremony was finished, and guys walked up to the shaman, and they said, hey, listen, we can't end off, I'm not okay. Like, you can't just go back to our room, I'm just not okay. The shaman said, look, you asked to drink as much as you wanted to drink, I didn't force you to do it, It's crazy. And we're so susceptible. We're so susceptible to just neuroses of all kinds when we not integrate psychedelic experiences or just spiritual insights or teachings or something like that. If we don't integrate them, I mean, what I'm saying, this is something else of what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is something else. But it's the same thing, the psychedelic experiences, and we don't integrate the experience or the lessons or what was going on. And we just carry on with our lives. It's like proper trauma. I really feel it's proper trauma, because what you go through is traumatic. You feel better the next day because you return to your normal base ego consciousness, and then you go back to your family and the whole game, and the whole culture and the whole distraction of what you are not, people in your lives that are not in alignment with you or don't know who you are, and you're just playing an act. And so you run back into that. And again, I believe it's a trauma. And not only that, you don't take anything from it. It's like just watching another show on Netflix, watching another TV series or whatever it is. And then when it's done, it's like in the Truman Show towards the end. These guys, these security guards, they watch the Truman Show every night, and it's part of their lives. And then as the Truman Show ends, you see them sitting in front of their TV in the security place, and they say, what else is on TV? What else? That's it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So coming back to myself, is I don't want to just be another what else, man. I struggle with not being significant or not making meaning or something in my life. I absolutely struggle. That's why I really feel time is passing in a way, and I wish I had more, more intimacy with others. I wish I had more time in nature. I wish I had more synchronicities. I wish I just had, more scenic places, just more healthier. It's just a different kind of experience, because the time is going. It's just going. I can't stand waste. I cannot stand waste. I cannot stand spiritual waste, or people pretending to be spiritual. Again, that word is so terrible. Spiritual, people self-help or whatever it is, and just, I've spoken about it before so many times. People pretending to be healers, or they believe that they're healers, or they believe they remember their past lives, and they can heal you over the phone by seeing a picture of you. And it's not just one or two people. It's like, you go on a Next Level Soul podcast, and it's mostly Americans, and it's mostly women between. It's not only, but there's massive amounts of people parading around with these things that they believe that they can do, taking on an identity, taking on another culture, taking on another, and I'm moving on to different subject now, but moving on just into another, what I was thinking when I was at the beach today, and I thought to myself, you get guys that are like beach bums, like beach vibes, and they got the hand movement, it's the pinky pointing out to the one side and then the thumb, and they're like, and they wave it, it's like, surf's up, dude. And there's kind of beach bum kind of people, right? It's like a culture within the beach bums. Broad shorts, whatever it is, blonde hair, in the movie Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. It's like the typical kind of beach bum dudes. We wake up and we go and, and they're pretty dumb people, but, the surfers and whatever, but they, like the women are gorgeous and the guys are like, dude, we live for the waves, and it's just got a whole culture about it. And then you get people who want to be surfers and pretend to be, just like you get people who pretend to be Rastafarians. Oh, I mean, it's ridiculous. What happened the other day when I came across a guy who was pretending to be a Rastafarian, and I said something that, and he said, it was just so fake. It's like, again, so that's spiritual. That's also the spiritual community. It's also got like a kind of a vibe to it. Or the vegan or something like that. What a waste. What a waste, people. What an absolute waste. It's just, again, you know what it is? It's needing to have an identity. It's needing to have an ideology. It's needing to have some, follow some kind of dogma. It's needing to, also get people to be seen, for attention. It's so much for attention. It's like, dude, why can't you just figure out and take the risk of being yourself and going all natural? It's like, I don't know, people don't know how to do that. But I'm just saying it's a waste of time. Also, what I see is a waste of time is movies. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. But, I'll look around for movies on IMDb and I'll see what's interesting, and then I'll download something and it's real trash. But you know what? How much work and effort has gone. Not just that. Look at a movie. I was watching just one of these movies that's based in the 1960s or 70s. And it's crazy. There's horses, there's carriages. What was this movie that I was watching? What was it? It starts off with a boy in a circus, right? But I mean, the boy is, I think it's in the 1960s. If I could tell you the movie, it was, and the boy runs through the whole circus. I'm saying there's the Ferris wheel going, and there's other people, and they all dress. It wasn't the 60s, sorry, it was later than that. No, it's much later than that. I can't remember what the movie was. And then he runs through the streets, and there's like, I don't know how many people on the streets, all dressed, women, children. I think it was the 1920s, whatever it is, And then he runs through and it's like the whole play. And you know what? I've never heard of this movie. The actors are not known. And it must have taken so much money, so much time, so much effort. And then what will happen is that maybe, that they were just telling a story. It was part of the story that, the movie is actually, the full movie is based in, say, the 2000s, but they went back in time. They were telling a story of this guy growing up, the boy growing up. And they, just that whole scene, just for like 10, 15 minutes, how much time and effort went into that? The directors, the screenwriters, the fact that they had to get the location. So much for what? For what? So much resources, so much money. For what? How many people are even going to watch that movie? How many movies are produced every second? It's crazy. And how much energy goes into it? Again, I just can't stand waste. I can't get this point across hard enough. I just can't. It's just remarkable. I mean, and the actors and the actresses will stay up till probably late hours because they're filming at night time. And they sleep in their caravans and they're away from their family, and it's a dedication, it's commitment, and it's taking people's time in life. And for what? It's what I can't get my head around, is how much time we waste in this life on really, and again, so much time watching TV series, so much time playing, TV games, so much time at offices, so much time at school. One of the things of this culture is like one of the main we talk about wastefulness and wasting resources. We waste time, we waste our existence, we absolutely waste our existence. And that terrifies me. That really, look, when I was younger, it used to freak me the hell out. It's like, how can this be and you people are just okay with it? How can you be okay with this? How can you be? You see, for them, they don't honor the fact that we're going to die one day. They don't honor that life, that there's deeper riches to be had. And when people think, oh yeah, there's deeper riches to be had, more than just money or the spiritual community. What is it, guys? Boys and girls, what is it? It's bliss, it's joy, it's appreciation, it's all these good, lovely, sweet, awesome things that you're missing out on. Oh, the beauty of the present moment, and the richness and the perfume of it, and all of this stuff. Oh, so beautiful, guys. Not about your sorrow, not about your pain, not about your loneliness, not about your shame, none about that, your confusion, your fears, your inadequacies, your inner self-critic, your negative self-image, how you're afraid of the world, how you're afraid of everybody, that they'll find out that you're a fake, how you know that you're messing up your life and your children's life and your family's life and everybody else's life around you. No, guys, let's waste our time being blissed out. We even take psychedelics, we even take in the culture of psychedelics and Mary Jane and all of those things, again, to create another sort of narrative and story around about it, by being like, oh, this is what I've taken, a heroic dose, or all of these things. It's, what I'm saying? I don't know what we haven't taken and turned into something that can be told as a story for the approval of others, for like trying to fit in, for trying to be part of another ideology or whatever it is. It's like, again, just wasting the things. What I'm saying is it's supposed to be transformational. The things that are supposed to be, meaningful, that help us connect within our being, whatever it might be, the very things that we do, again, it's just made to entertain, or to be able to tell a story about, where you can be, get people's approval. Again, people just, I don't know how many psychics there are online, how many people, it's just madness. Something like a psychic or somebody who, the near-death experiences are that's for myself the most realist thing in that way. I don't know if all of them are true, and I doubt all of them are true, but some of them I do believe are true. I really feel that they are true, But what I'm saying is that, again, it's because the way that they tell it is authentic. The way that they tell it has all the elements of pain, of sorrow, of loss, of grief, of connection, of just really the whole facet, the whole rainbow of life in its experience, And it just, there's a respect, there's a maturity about it, there's just something about it in the stories itself, in the experience, and you can see it within the person. Whether the person integrates it or not, I'm not sure, but you can see that they were touched by something more divine, more mysterious, more unknowing. They were just, it was a moment outside of the body, a moment outside of time, a moment outside of space. You can see it, you can tell it, Again, when a child is born into this world, more in first world countries, what's the first thing that gets happen? A picture of the child gets taken, right? Even within an hour, the child is an hour old. The picture gets taken, put on Facebook, and oh, and everybody's like, oh, congratulations, oh, he's so cute, he's so beautiful, and whatever it is. And that's the kind of stuff, not actually to be enamored by the birth process, not by the significance of that, or again, it's just for cheap thrills, man. We've changed the most profound, life-changing experiences into cheap thrills. That's it. That's what it is. And so, time wasting. And again, well, why do we waste time? Why is it so much like this? In such a big way. Why is it so much like this? It's because we're too afraid. We're too afraid to go at it on our own. To be a part of the mystery and the who knows what's going on. The fact is that you don't really know what a soul is, and you speak about it, or you don't really know what I don't know, clairvoyance is. You don't really know. I'm just being ridiculous, but you don't really know what the shadow is, and you talk about it. You don't really know what God is, but you talk about it in a certain degree with such confidence. You're so confident. You want it to be so confident. You want to really have answers. You really want to have certainties. You really want to have like a belief that you are a certain person, and a non-dual, or that you're a certain awakened soul. Or I'm just talking about more in the spiritual community, because that's where you think that the real transformation would be. But I'm saying about all in life, all in general. Look, and I think for most souls, if you want to call it, or people on this level, they are supposed to be distracted. There is supposed to be the matrix, and they're just supposed to fall in line, right? That doesn't mean that there isn't meaning in their life, but it's a very meaningless life. Again, it's just like ants. They all have meaning, but it's very little. Their significance is very little. And for I don't know, maybe older souls, if you want to call it, older souls, that there's more of a meaningful life, and a rejection of all of this other stuff. I'm saying all of the generic, all of the ideology, all of the dogma. Sorry, and I think if I'm jumping around here, but I'm saying I make talks out of necessity, which I found. I do talks out of necessity, because if I'm not talking on this level, if I'm not talking, and I'm just sitting here walking the cat, or I go and I sit on the laptop and I'm watching something, it's meaningful, but not as meaningful as this. This has got high intense meaning for me, and massive challenge as well. It's got meaning for me because I'm sharing myself publicly. I'm sharing my feelings, my philosophies, my insights, whatever it is, my own direct experience. I believe that I'm bringing something real to the table, and also right now, after this conversation, I feel a little bit better about myself. I had a moment where, my mind wasn't so active. I wasn't so connected in my story. I wasn't so lonely. Just before I recorded this, I felt extreme loneliness, intense loneliness, And so I got to make this recording out of necessity. To a degree, I can do without it, Again, I would like for it to be more meaningful to others, and meaningful in a relationship that you and I could grow in, but that's not going to happen, that it can make more meaning. And it is, like I say, it's hard for me because it's required of me to face up to a lot of the shame that comes with this, a lot of shame dealing with this kind of stuff, going onto a platform such as YouTube and sharing myself in this way. A lot of shame. What happens if I check the video and it's only got 11 views? And I say, you know what, maybe 2 or 3 people made it to the end. But what I'm saying is that I put so much into it, and because it's so much meaning to me, at least, let's say, 20, 30 people watched to the end. There's how many people in the world? How many people in the spiritual community? Is it just so much that it's so important to hear another person, another psychic talk about the world in 2050 on the Next Level Soul podcast or something like that? For heaven's sakes. Again, this whatever kind of, New Age, not intention, whatever, that kind of stuff. And yet, what I'm saying is that, of course, I would like to impact people's lives. That's what we're born here to do in a certain way. That's one of the payoffs, in a way. We want to make a difference in people's lives. We really do. Most of us, at least, really, truly do, because it counts so much, it means so much to us. And it also gives us more validation, and it does give us more value, and it makes us feel more important. We're really trying to shine a light on the dark. It's a huge, huge responsibility. It's a huge requirement. It's a huge role. Well, is it or isn't it? Because sometimes does it really even matter? Maybe this life is just to be lived and, and get through alive, and then just, put it on your bucket list. Oh, well, I went down to earth and I had this kind of experience, and, it was cool and whatever. Now I'm back. You know what I mean? That's also like no consequences, and that's a whole nother discussion. Again, what I want to speak about, why so serious? Why so serious? But anyways, just coming back, because is life to be serious or not? So, what does challenge me in a way in regards to my recording? Again, is massive insecurity. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh well, if I do too many videos about my own loneliness and how, having to sort of scrape the bottom of the barrel or roll with the punches or something like that, that eventually people will unsubscribe, and then they'll leave, and then I will, maybe then I will have a video. I always try and keep up the video, the quality and the level, and be entertaining, and to people, like, really, wow, I enjoyed that, Aaron, and you're spot on, and thanks for what you do, and I'm so proud of you, or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm jumping around what I'm saying, because again, there is so much to say, and sometimes I don't find the appropriate time to really say it. But I'm just trying to say for myself that I like to think that the stakes are high. I like to think that, I don't know how to say it. Now, Kitty, you're making a noise with this thing jumping all around and making this noise. But I've spent enough time here with you, Kitty. I don't know. Anyways, I just again, things matter, and I think things count, or at least in my life, I really feel that they do. And I don't know. I wish, not really, but I'm saying in regards to the confidence of. Anyway, I don't want to take this in another direction. And I can see that's what's going to happen. And the sound of that gate is me coming back in the house, and I'm done with the cat. And I just want to say thanks for those of you who have made it this far, and thank you for, lending me your ear and hearing me out. And again, I just hope that in some way or another that it leaves you with something. It's a connection with you. That we're sharing in something in space and time, and maybe in the next life or in another dimension, if there is a shift, that you and you'll say, oh, Aaron, I'll meet you, I don't know, whatever level, and be like, Aaron, I just remember those evenings or those days of listening to you, and, when I myself was, I don't know, maybe just feeling unloved or unimportant, or just nothing ready to offer, and not really being able to connect with anyone, just feeling rather lonely, and whatever it is, and like maybe a bit of a weirdo for living so intensely, and also searching for that meaning, and that, very much disapproval and dissatisfaction with your situation, your environment, your life, the people in your life. And you know what, Aaron, you really were a bit of a light for me at that time. And I'm grateful for that, and forever hold that dear to myself, just that moment, out of it, all the other moments which were just kind of very short-lived, superficial, and didn't really impact me much at all. Like that ayahuasca that I had in that song that I listened to, Journey to the Heart, Journey to the Center of the Heart, or something like that, Journey to the Heart, I can't remember. in that song that I took to ayahuasca, when I do listen to it, I really feel like I'm right there and then. And that experience of taking ayahuasca was really sort of anchored in something in time for me, and left an imprint on me. And I hope I can do that for others in a positive, transformational way. And again, of just higher states of consciousness and moving beyond matter and the matrix and whatnot. All right, take care.